Peace from the East, y'all. It's me, Davon Raymond, aka Vonnie. Welcome back to the podcast. That's right, the podcast that I said was done 6 months ago, and then 6 months before that. So many times I'm just like, bro, my life is not going in this direction anymore, so let's just do something else. And then after about 6 months, my brain is like, okay, we're sober again. We are thinking about activities, taking advantage of life, being adventurous, yada, yada, yada. Here I am. I have returned. All right, so it is about 9 in the morning on this glorious Sunday, the Lord's Day, and I want to share with you just what has been going on. I really have not been posting. Never mind the podcast for 2 seconds. I've barely been posting YouTube videos. Now, I have posted a couple, but in the past, month right now, I'm pulling up my phone, Davon Raymond X. You can find the podcast, but of course, me all over the internet, literally Davon Raymond X on every website. All right, so every social media site anyway, except for OF. I'm not on that, thank goodness, unless my ex had a camera somewhere that I didn't know about. Anyway, but no, the last video I posted 2 weeks ago reacting to TikTok comments from a video I made 8 months ago, or you know what I mean, a very, very, very long time ago. And then when I moved back to New York, which is something I wanted to talk to you guys about, me moving back to New York from Rhode Island and that whole shebang. I feel like I've already talked about this on the internet, which I have actually not a lot. Now that I'm looking at my YouTube, I really haven't given it a genuine, full-on, hey, this is what's going on. But I really, how you never know what you've got until it's gone? That phrase, hold on, let me get some water over here. That phrase, that, I don't know, idiom or what, I don't know if it's quite an idiom. People love to say it. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. That is a silly phrase for those who are unaware of the fact that they have eyes and ears. You know what I'm saying? If you are somebody who has gratitude and appreciation for your situation and for the people in your life, for the job that you have, for the pets that you have, or whatever, your children, if you have gratitude and appreciation, then you do know what you have before it's gone. It's those who do not appreciate what they have, they will then realize later on when they finally rub their brain cells together and face reality. But that is something that you don't have to deal with. You are different. You can just be appreciative of what you have. And, if you're like me, I failed to do that in the past, and now I'm actively trying to be a better person. So, wow, I'm so amazing. I'm not better than you or anything. I'm just saying I'm so great, aren't I? So, let's get to, there's 2 things I really want to talk to you guys about today. One of them is the feelings around moving back to my childhood bedroom. Honestly, I've moved around so much as a child, multiple homes. My mother and my brothers and whatever, we would be moving. I can remember us living in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different homes, but I believe that we lived in more than that. So it's crazy. But a lot of people, military families, they're moving all over the place. And just if you are a Section 8er or whatever, somebody who gets their rent was paid partially or all the way by government, maybe different things happen outside of your control and you literally have to move. I don't believe that was ever us. That's not a point of pride necessarily. Maybe that would be for my mother or something, but no, I'm just saying in general, who knows? With the way my life is going, I myself could end up on Section 8 one day. I hope not. I just hope to be successful in my endeavors and that will never be a consideration. But life happens and you have to roll with the punches. So anyway, so getting back to the things, I want to talk to you guys about moving back to New York from Rhode Island, back to my mother's house, and I guess we could, man, do I even want to talk about the matters the dealings of one's heart and soul at such a young, impressionable age. Yes, I'm 28 and I'll be 29 in January, but I do have some crumbs to offer with respect to the hungry heart. Being a young man, wanting to be in some type of relationship or not, and all of that. So let's see, should we kick off with the relationship stuff or should we kick off with the Rhode Island stuff? I'm just going to say we'll end with the relationship stuff because I have wanted to talk to you guys about moving back to New York from Rhode Island. I've been wanting to talk to you guys about this for a while, and I think I've already posted, let me check my YouTube right now. If you guys are watching this, you're probably watching this on Davon Raymond X on YouTube, but this should also be available on Spotify and wherever else you get podcasts. All right, so on my Davon Raymond X YouTube channel, and of course, seriously, guys, check me out on Instagram. I'm all over the place. So here, the last 4 videos I uploaded in order, that are public anyway, are reacting to TikTok comments, moved back to New York, but that was only like a 12-minute video, so I didn't really get to talk about everything. The fact that I surrendered my cat 2 months ago. Oh no, that was definitely like about 3 months ago. I decided to give my cat away or back to the ASPCA. And I've had her for years, so that was definitely a more emotional video. But I'm certainly not going to tear up because I have huevos. Just kidding. And let's see. And then goal-setting vlog. It was a vlog where I was driving around, going to McDonald's, and talking to you guys about my life and what I was trying to do at that time. Beyond that, there's just a bunch of other videos talking about life when I was living back in Rhode Island. So if you guys don't know, I'll give you the cliff notes. I was living in this bedroom right here at my mom's house in New York, and I was so ready to pursue surfing. I was so ready to have some sort of life, and I did have a surfboard chilling in there. Actually, my surfboard is back in Rhode Island at my stepfather's summer home thing, and no, it's not a timeshare. They own it. Subtle humble brag. It's not mine, so it's not really a brag because the only thing I own up there is my surfboard, which is like $100. Anyway, so yeah, I used to have my surfboard in the bedroom. I used to have those Hawaiian leis. Of course, I got them from the dollar store, but the leis all around the room just so I could have the mental hey, I want to be a surfer, which I now am, but I'm a surfer without an ocean because I'm living 3 hours plus away from any real surfing opportunities, unfortunately. So, like I said, just to give you the cliff notes, I was in here, I wanted to get sober from weed, and I wanted to work really hard at my Chipotle job for about 4 months or so. I worked really hard, I saved up my money, I was getting paid every 2 weeks. I saved $4 or $5 grand, close to $5 grand, pretty much $5 grand. I had my little dinky donk car. No offense, I liked that car a lot. Unfortunately, it was so rusted out on the bottom. The car was from before I got it. It was in Vermont, and you guys know Vermont and New York. We got salt and snow and damage. So, just wasn't really that great. Anyway, so definitely got pretty far along on that journey, and when I was doing a lot of Googling, I was trying to find what area do I want to move into for Rhode Island, and one of the places was, of course, Woonsocket. You guys may not be familiar. Pretty much, here's what I discovered after returning back to New York, is that nobody knows where Rhode Island is, which is amazing. It's crazy. But if you ask me, hey, where's Nebraska on the map? I can point generally, but I don't know exactly if there was no names on the map. So I'm not too big of a hater, but I can appreciate the seclusion or the isolation or the unfamiliarity of Rhode Island. Locals, especially if you're first of all, if you're a Family Guy fan, then you should know Rhode Island. That's where Family Guy is like based. The story of it, anyway. And Quahog and all of that. Pawtucket Patriot, the ale, like the beer that they drink. I've been to Pawtucket in Rhode Island. Anyway, but I like that outside of Rhode Island and outside of New England, people don't really know what it is. So in the past, I used to feel like, oh, if I record a video here in Rhode Island, then people might Google and GPS my location or whatever, like Google Maps it, and that made me nervous because it's the smallest state in the union, and you will possibly bump into somebody eventually if you spend enough time in that state, and that scares me. I don't want to be so vulnerable to just any weirdo, you know what I mean? And just to really drive this home, there was this YouTuber. I actually watched before I moved, multiple YouTubers in Rhode Island-based YouTubers, either surfers or just people who live out there. And there was this one YouTuber who was standing out in a Target, and they were just talking about, like, there were two instances of this. One YouTuber was talking about Trader Joe's, and another YouTuber was talking about a Target. They were in a Target parking lot doing a vlog, and the one YouTuber talking about Trader Joe's, I was like, oh, well, I may be moving to Rhode Island, so let me check out Trader Joe's. And I Google Maps it, and there was one, from what I could see on Google Maps, there was two Trader Joe's locations, and one of them was permanently closed. So I'm like, okay, so the one Trader Joe's in the state, according to Google Maps, is right there. And if you, the YouTuber, are talking about physically being here, that means a creep, or me, for the sake of this example, could just be there and then be looking around, craning their neck to see this person. So it scared me a little bit to know that, oh snap, this place really is small. People really could find me if I had any enemies, which I don't really. I just have anxiety, which makes me think I have enemies. So there's that. Anyway, and then the other YouTuber was talking about, they were like in a Target, actually like walking around with the camera, doing a vlog, and I thought to myself, okay, if I can find this person where they're standing, anybody can. So I Googled all of the Targets. I listened to what they said in the video. They didn't say, I'm at this Target in Cranston or whatever. They just said, I'm at Target, da-da-da-da-da. I used context clues in the video. I just Google mapped all the Targets because it's the smallest state, so there isn't like as many as there would be in New York or whatever. And I just started going through, and then I actually found the Target. Now, granted, a lot of the Target parking lots are probably going to look exactly the same, but I'm telling you, I found the one that they were talking about. I saw it was like a Target next to like a restaurant, next to like a pizza shop or something like that. And I saw that, and I'm like, bro, that skeeves me out. So that was one of the anxieties I had about moving to the smallest state, but then also sharing my life there. So you guys will see if you go back through old videos on the Davon Raymond X YouTube channel that I didn't really post too many things unless I was like on location at Hazard Rock or at Narragansett Beach or wherever I was, Newport or something. And I'd be like, hey, I am here. I would announce I'm there at that location because I just wanted to be clear. And I think it's really cool when a YouTuber says, hey, I'm at this place, when it's like a POI, a point of interest, like a beach or like a nature spot or whatever. Doing anything else like, oh, I'm at Target on 3rd Street right here in my neighborhood or something like that that's not valid. I don't like that. That scares me. Somebody can follow you home. No, thank you. Anyway, not that anyone wants to follow me home. I've never got any creepy attention like that on the internet, but I feel like stalker situations, they may not always make themselves known, or you will have volunteered so much information that something could happen and you are just like, la 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 la, I'm a YouTuber, la 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 la, everything's fine, It scares me. But I did have some traumatic. Okay, no. lowercase t traumatic experience, before I moved, about a year before I moved out to Rhode Island. So it just gave me like this. Anytime I see a black Acura sedan, I'm always just like, oh my God, is this going to be the day that something tragic happens? And that's all the detail I'll go into on that maybe another day. So, yeah, so moving back to the point, I decided I'd move to Woonsocket, Rhode Island, which is at the very top of the state. Hopefully, if you guys are watching the podcast, I'll put it right on the screen, which is not something you see often in. Well, I guess you do see visual aids in podcasts. This isn't Joe Rogan, all right? This is Davon Raymond, okay? I got 2 names. He's got 2 names. Just kidding. I've got 3. So, yeah, I'm living at the very top of the state. I decided, you know what, I'm going to move there because the rent is cheaper. I have my car at the time. I can still drive down to the beach and go surfing if I want. Heck, I could even go equidistant north rather than south and go to Boston, because it's literally right on the border of Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Yes, I had a Rhode Island residence. And yes, if I went down my street and take a left, well, as soon as I hit a left, I was in Massachusetts, which is hilarious as far as like what was available in stores and all of that, which is funny, but that is just what it is when you live in a border town like I did. Anyway, so I decided to move there because the rent was cheap, it was affordable. There was another Chipotle that was out there within drivable distance that I was able to just transfer and then continue to work. So that was awesome. That was my 8-month plan, that got put into effect literally under a year. I knew what I wanted to do. I saved my money. What I wanted to do was get sober so I could actually save my money and not spend it on weed. And honestly, whenever I smoke, I'm a stoner. There's no self-control. There is none of that. There's only me smoking and then me smoking every single day and then me smoking multiple times a day and then me spending whatever expendable income, which really is just savings, on weed. So that's just my terrible habit, and whenever I take control of that, then I take control back of my life. So I'm really happy. It's tough. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So, yeah, if you guys are audio-only listeners right now, I was just, like, clearing my throat a couple of times because right now I work at a job where I am often standing outside. First of all, I'm also, like, in the elements if I have to take the bus or something. But I am dealing with the elements a lot. So this right now, my schnoz is definitely, I could benefit from taking, like, a Benadryl or something. So, a little sick, but next week I'm sure I'll be right as rain, as I would like to do this podcast on a regular basis, as I always say. I really would, at least weekly or something. But we'll see, but that's the plan. So, I think I was just wrapping up on the fact that, hey, I saved up my money. I had a goal, 8 months' time. I put it all into action, and I executed it. And it wasn't bad. I had savings, I had an apartment, I had a car, surfing, I had dreams, and I also had a job out there so I could continue to work. So really, I had a ready-made life. Like, in 8 months, I had a ready-made life. And that is awesome because that's something I can do again. Now, granted, I do not have a car this time because the old car got rusted out. I had to get rid of it. I chose to get rid of it, and I heard from 2 mechanics, this is a rust bucket, and when you hit a pothole, something bad, your frame is literally going to go tink, it's going to snap, and then you will find yourself scraping on the ground, possibly in an accident. And, and when it comes to car maintenance and accidents and stuff, you may think, and I'm telling you guys this, the mechanic didn't say this to me, I'm just telling you guys, you may think, oh, who cares, I'll just ride into the wheels fall off. Okay, but when the wheels do fall off and you hurt somebody and it's not you, right? Like you veer off to the right because a tie rod breaks, or I don't know, cars like that. But something happens, you're turning at high speed or low speed or whatever, and something snaps and now you lost control of the vehicle. You could hit a young mother of 2 with the babies in the back seat. You could You could slam yourself into a railing, like a guardrail, and get pinched in your metal frame of your car. You could really get screwed up, or just crash and burn up and kill like 10 people. Like, you don't know what could happen. Just terrible, terrible happenings. And yeah, you could be driving alone. It breaks. You're on the highway. And now you're standing outside for like 2 hours before you get any help. That would be the lesser of the evils that could happen from ignoring maintenance on a car that you've been told by multiple mechanics that this is a dangerous vehicle to drive. So I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? Let's just not do any more risk. So I'm happy I got rid of that. But yeah, so right now I'm working at a job. And I'm working full-time hours, more or less. I have dreams again. I want to continue surfing. I want to be able to move back out to a place where I can surf, possibly Rhode Island again. A few months ago, when I first moved back to my mom's, I really thought, hey, why don't I just go to, Jersey or go to North Carolina or some place like that where I can just enjoy my life still and still be able to surf. And I'm still young. I'm still 28. And I don't want to be someone who just gets complacent. I just proved that in 8 months' time, honestly less than that, I can put my life together in a way that introduces adventure, new beginnings, new adventures, new challenges. I know it's very much possible because I did it. So now I'm just moving back to New York from Rhode Island. I'm really thinking like, okay, I got some experience, and I know that I also have a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth for being back here. Not that I don't appreciate and love New York, because I do, but I also just feel a little bit like, I don't know, like I didn't get enough when I was out there, and I really didn't. I didn't get to surf as much as I wanted, as I should have. I didn't get to travel as much as I should have, and I had every opportunity. And this is what happened. I moved out to Rhode Island, and just before I moved, I got back into weed. And then when I moved to Rhode Island, I cared more about smoking and dispensaries and whatever than actually making sure I could maintain my life and making sure that I was just consistent with other areas in my life. So that was a sad reality that was my own decision. Now, some people are out there like, bro, I can smoke weed and I can still get done what I got to get done. I can't do that. I've proven that. I'm 28 living at my mom's house, not by choice. Not by choice. Not by choice. If you're this age or older or whatever, living at your mom's house by choice, then that is you and that is not me. I enjoy being here and I enjoy all of that. But my call to adventure says you should not be here. And for the life that I want to lead, I should not be here. But that will all change in 2025, coming up in a few weeks, because today's December 15th. So Christmas in 10 days, and then in about 2 weeks' time, New Year's, and then my birthday about 2 weeks after that. And then here we are. I'll be 29, living at my mom's house at the start of a new year, and I will have about 6 months where I will be saving crazy. Right now I'm saving crazy, but 6 more months of saving. And by that point, I don't know if I'll be driving, and I don't know if I'm just going to save up all my ducats and then just go to move. But since I moved back, I have this fire under my butt, and I just want to get serious with life again. And I think now I'll wrap up the moving aspect of things, and I will get into the dating world. But to wrap up this last 5 minutes of the moving situation, I really do appreciate the fact that I proved to myself that I really can kick ass when I need to. I really like that I really got my life together, meaning got sober. And for me, it was getting sober from weed. For you, it might be something else. But I'm just talking about Davon, talking about Vani. And for him, he needs to have his whole brain so he can focus, have the patience to deal with Chipotle customers, having the patience to, appreciate and exercise the promotion that I got up to kitchen manager and, what that required from me. And it was cool. I really like, that I was able to do that. But being sober definitely is the key for me to focus and get my life together. So I get the fun of rolling a blunt and smoking a blunt and all that, but I also get the addiction of rolling and smoking a blunt, and that's something I just don't want to deal with. I really don't. Maybe when I'm 60, hopefully I'll wait that long. Bro, if I don't smoke for years, my life is going to be I'm going to have such control. It's incredible. Like, I'm excited for that version of me who has so much control that it's just easy. It'll be like breathing. Saved up my money, traveled around the world, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to have that experience. Because I felt so good in my life. Even though I felt depressed at times, I definitely felt more control than out of control in my life. So let's just get to it. Just before I moved away from Rhode Island, I got involved with a pretty New York female, pretty girl, very sweet girl, and we very quickly fell into this. We want each other, and then we want to date, and then we dated for technically 2 months, something like that. And throughout that dating, there were a lot of not great things, not a lot of great things happening. There were a lot of good, well, I don't want to go into super detail, but I've known this girl for many years at this point, and we had tried dating a long time ago. And then we recently decided, hey, it's been a while since we've been close, and, things are different now. Why don't we try to date, So things were rough for that 2 months that we dated. And we just kind of decided, even though I didn't fully agree at the time, that it wasn't best for us to continue. I think I wanted to keep holding on and fighting. I wanted to keep holding on and fighting for this relationship, but I don't think I had the right mindset to actually have it be worth something, to be honest. I think sobriety definitely makes a difference. And, we do love each other. We do appreciate each other. We do want the other person to have a good life and all of that. And we've been around each other for, like I said, years now. So our quirks, our issues, our blah, 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 are the way we like to spend our free time. A lot of them are similar, and we do get each other, not fully. I feel like the age difference, I'm a few years older than them, which is not uncommon. The dudes tend to be older. That's not always the case, but whatever the age gap is, man or woman, there's going to be some experience gap. There's going to be some possible maturity gap, and that will affect the nature and the dynamic of the relationship, which is fine. It is. It can be something that is driving you. It can be a very positive thing. It can be an area of soreness and frustration because of not being able to see eye to eye, given age, experience, expectations. I feel like the older that I get and the more situations I find myself in, I definitely find that I am expecting less out of people, and not necessarily my ex, but the world, jobs, experiences. I don't think the fantasy and of our expectations lines up with the reality of life, and that is something that I am increasingly accepting and becoming aware of in my own life as time goes on. And that's something that I'm consciously aware of and actively trying to keep that in my as a filter on life. Like, hey, dude, fantasy is fantasy, reality is reality. Even if it mixes up with my feelings, I still have to remember that reality is different from what I might expect it to be. Or, oh, life should be this and why that. You can ask all those questions, but you can also just look and see what it is and then appreciate what it is. And that is my 2 cents on that. So yeah, I've known this girl for a while, years. We've known each other. We've had our ups and downs, certainly, and we've had plenty of downs. So, but all these people on the internet, if you scroll and you start hearing about relationships and all this stuff, you're probably going to hear like, never talk to your ex. Drop your ex like a freaking hot tamale. Don't ever. It's just like, okay, you can do that. Or, oh, you're a simp. You're a fool. You're da 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 da. If you keep dealing with your ex because you'll never get over them and blah blah blah. Who is writing these YouTube posts? Who are these people? Who are they? Who are they? Somebody in the past, and I won't reveal them, but they told me that they said, oh, this one person who's 23, they were telling me that they, as far as like, basically a 23-year-old commented on the relationship that I was in, and they were basically like, look, if it wasn't working, it's been in my experience as a 23-year-old, what the fuck are you talking? In my experience, I feel like, if things aren't working out, then they're never going to work out, so just move on. It's like, bro, whether that is true or whether that's not, this is a child, more or less. Yes, you're an adult, but in the grand scheme of things, you're a child, a new adult, and you're talking about in your experience, what dating have you had at the age of 23, or even now I'm 28, right? What dating experience have I had that will have been like throughout my adulthood and my adult brain that would have anything to speak to anyone else's situation? If you're 23, okay, that means you were 18 5 years ago. And if you think the dating that you did from 16 to 23, if you think that means something, okay, there's a chance for some of you that it meant something, but for the majority, I would argue that it's going to be a version of you that is not going to be you when you're in your late 20s or older. So when you say I have dating experience, if you're talking about being young and whatever, then it's hard for me to give that as much weight as it would have for you because you are young versus somebody who's older, so it's not going to carry as much weight, or rather the dating that they did when they were older, that may carry more weight than when they were younger, when you're first learning about yourself, feelings, boundaries, possibly addictions and stuff like that. So you may have dating experience, but it is not weighed the same in my view. So when someone was like, oh, in my view, things just haven't worked out, I'm just like, bro, how much dating have you done? How much dating have you done? And if you've dated around or just had a bunch of sex, or, oh, I dated this one girl for 5 years. If you dated one chick for 5 years, it's like, brother, does that mean that you are Casanova, or that maybe, but that you have, you know everything because you dealt with one human being? Of course not. But I think over time you can appreciate that more because time has passed by. You've continued to live on. You've had new experiences. You've had other things to compare your previous experiences with, to the new one. So it's just, that is experience. That is life as it goes on. You have more to compare to and more to understand. So that really is, I think, something that's really important. So when I was 23, I would have thought, hey, I know everything. I'm 28. I don't think I know everything. And I'm sure when I'm 35, I'll think I have a pretty solid brain. But someone who's 50 will look at me like I'm a kid. So that's just the perspective that, humility. And you have to know that, hey, other people know more than you. And they tend to be older and more experienced. So, I know I just went on a long rant about my ex, but this is just, or about dating and whatever, but that's just so you can get the perspective of, I'm not just someone who's, here's my opinion and that's it. No, it's informed with humility, experience, and an open willingness to learn more. That is where my opinion comes from. It's not just, here's my experience and I know what I'm talking about. That's that was me when I'm 22. You know what I mean? Not me now when I'll be 29 in a year, or in a month rather. Um, yeah. So we were talking a little bit. My ex and I, we were dating, and then I moved back to Rhode Island, I moved back to New York from Rhode Island. I'm like, all right, let's do this. We're dating. About 2 months passed, and then we're like, actually, this isn't great. And now a little bit more time has passed. We haven't been dating for like a month or two at this point. And, we enjoy each other's time. We enjoy each other's company. We talk about life and goals and try to support each other in that way. But as more time has gone on, I have realized that I don't want to, as much as I love dating, as much as I would love to be with this person, like, yeah, it'd be great if we get together, or marriage eventually, and family, and build a life and all of that. That would be great. But again, fantasy versus reality. Fantasy is all my little fancies, come true, or, reality, which is, well, I moved back here, and yes, I'm young, and I'd love to date, and I'd love to build a family, but I also want to enjoy my life. There are things I want to do. I didn't get to serve as much as I wanted to. I would love to save up my money, get my credit together, get my life back together, so I can transfer again and go back out into the world, and live a new life again. Could that involve dating somebody else? I mean, eventually, right? I mean, that's life, right? Or, could that involve getting a new job, or possibly getting a job in surfing? That would be sick. Like, these are the things that I think about when I'm not just thinking about, oh, I'm single, boohoo. I'm living at my mom's house. It's okay to be single. What am I going to do? Bring her back to my mom's? First of all, black mom, I know some moms are not going to be like this. My mother, guess what? You're not bringing anybody over the house, period. So that's not even a thing. So for me to even have any time with any girlfriend, if I was dating them, time that isn't let's be out in the world and have people coughing in our air, you know what I mean? Like, go to a movie, go to a bar, go to a restaurant. Yeah, all that stuff is great, but that's not what I'm always trying to do. If you're getting to know somebody, it would be nice to be able to, like, have that time with them in a more intimate zone, even if it is just on the couch in the house. Like, that gives you a different perspective of somebody. My ex in the past, they said they didn't really get to see me around, like, other groups of people, being around other people. They didn't really know, if I was, like, more of a social type. Was I awkward? Was I this? Was I that? And that was something that was important to them. Everyone can have their own values. That was important to them. They wanted to be able to see me around other people, how I interacted. And if I was a girl, right? Well, actually, as a guy, I'll just speak as a guy. Sure, I don't really care. But I could see the value in seeing my partner, how they are socially with other people, including men, but other people in general. Just what are they like around other people? And that's not to say that I'm like, are they gonna, hug this guy? This isn't about jealousy. This isn't about anything. This is about, are they patient? Are they kind? Are they caring? Are they loving? Are they engaging? Are they all of these things that we would appreciate? Are they shy, reserved? Are they always instigating trouble? Are they annoying? Are they complaining? What are they like? Are they patient? Like, what are they like? So I appreciate that they said that they didn't really get to see me in that light, and they would have liked to see that. I get that. At the time, when I was in my emotions, I thought, oh, they probably just scrolled through Instagram and they saw some, men-hating post that, like, there's a lot of videos out there by so many people, YouTubers like me, that are like, here's the thing about dating girls, or here's the thing about dating guys, or here's the thing about, like, that is just so, it's just so annoying. And I don't want me to fall victim to being programmed by some random person's thought that they decided to post on the internet. And same for my, I believe, who is in some ways a little bit more naive than me, ex-girlfriend, who is trying to understand life, and I don't want them to be programmed by the internet or by someone's random opinion. But That's just me trying to overreach. But also, I do care about, my friends or my family or even my ex, and I don't want them to live a life where their thoughts, it can be provoked by something else, outside influence like a video, but I don't want their thoughts to then become someone else's random impulse that they decided to post. So at the time, I really thought they were just hitting me with some Instagram BS. But it does make sense, and that is what time and understanding leads you to get at that, and humility as well. And, that also showed me that in my emotional states, it may be harder for me to appreciate someone else's perspective. That is something that is probably obvious and goes without saying for everyone, but when you put it into words, at least for me, it makes it real. So next time I come into a situation, maybe dating somebody else or life, dealing with a customer, whatever, just to not be emotional, or if I am, to recognize that may influence it may give me a bias on how I'm going to interact with this person. So that is that. So we dated for a couple months, and then we decided, hey, let's just be friends. Yes, I wanted to hold on to things, but after time has passed, I feel like, yeah, I mean, I do love them. I do love them. And I do still feel all of those feelings I had, but also, it's okay. It's okay. I actually want my ex to date somebody else. That sounds fucked up. I want my ex to date somebody else so they can live their life, so they can have some experiences that have nothing to do with me, so they can see how they are with dating somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, I want that at this point. I wanted to marry them, a few months ago, not literally a few months ago, but like when we were dating, I was imagining that in the future. And then now that we're at this point, I'm like, I actually want you to go be with somebody else, and then just to see what that's like, see what that's like, for you. And for me, I don't want to date anybody else. I don't want to date anybody, period. I just want to get my money together, get my brain together, possibly get a whip, certainly get an apartment. And my mother's telling me, hey, like, you're here. I love you. You need to get your money together, and you need to move out. This isn't because she doesn't want to. She has this big-ass house with 1,000,000 rooms. Not really, but several rooms, 2 bathrooms. Like, she has plenty of space. It's not about that. It's about, she knows how I felt when I moved. She knows the confidence that gave me. She knows that a young man needs to have these experiences as a young man. They need to be able to, at least for her sons, we need to be able to be independent from her so we can live our lives, so we can be ourselves. That is what she wants for us. So when she tells me, hey, try to get your shit together, in a nice way, she says it. Just try to get your shit together, give yourself, 6-8 months, save up your money, and really just focus on what you want to do with your life, and go ahead and do it. You just moved to Rhode Island after focusing for like 6 months. So here's another 6 months. Focus and go back out there. And I appreciate that, because she's not kicking me out. She's lighting a fire under my butt and reminding me who I am. Let me not forget, I'm the same dude who decided to take control of his life and made a massive change. That is still me. So I fell into this mental space of, oh, well, weed and dating and just no dating, no weed. Here I am, paying down my credit cards. I got cash savings. I got savings in the bank. I'm working full-time job, and I'm just focusing on what's going to happen next. That is what is happening right now, and it feels very good. So yeah. I guess I thought I was going to be chatting a lot longer about the whole dating thing, but I guess there's not really too much more to say. My ex, I think they're a beautiful young woman. If you guys ever saw her, you'd be drooling. You have to wipe the drool off your freaking chin. She's so gorgeous, it's insane. Her personality is loving, fun, silly, youthful, very much the person you want to be around. They make you feel better about yourself, with their words and how they treat you and the things that they say. But aside from that, they are just a young woman with great promise, and they have great care in their heart and soul, and they definitely are harder on themselves than they need to be, and definitely need to shape up with other areas in their life, which they seem to be attempting. So I wish them luck in that. But yeah, I am in a good space mentally. Wow. Okay, I'm in a good space mentally. That's good. I guess I knew that, but saying it feels different. Yeah, so I guess you can tell I'm in a good space mentally because I'm recording and posting this. So that is also proof. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the upload. So, is there anything else that I want to say about dating and just how things have been? Because dating and moving, it all just kind of was intertwined. I called my stepfather a couple of, actually last night. Was it last night? 2 nights ago? Last night. I called him. And I was just like, hey, sorry we haven't really chatted since I moved back from Rhode Island. I actually left my Rhode Island apartment before the end of the year. Because, I had like a year lease. I left like a couple of months before the end of the lease. And then I moved into my stepfather's summer home. And I was maintaining that, cleaning up the area. But really, I was just enjoying the fact that I lived in Rhode Island, enjoying the fact that I could wake up at any time, walk out of the, summer home, walk down the little road there, and be at a private beach. I was there at 3 in the morning. I was there at 3 in the afternoon. I was just enjoying it. Low tide, high tide. Low tide smells awful, but I was enjoying it. And the fact that I was, a little drive down the road to get to, several beaches. I mean, it's Rhode Island. It's the state with a million beaches. Okay, not really, but there's so many, and it's so nice. And I really was enjoying that life so much. But I wanted to call him. I wanted to thank him. And I wanted to be like, hey, since I moved back to New York and, dating, whatever, I just feel like I kind of lost my bearings a little bit. And I just really fell into my head. So it was nice to be able to speak with him, talk about life, and just to get a reminder, like, he's an OG at this point, right? An older man, so he's going to have a perspective that I'm not going to have. You know what I mean? And I would like to live to see a day where, at least I'll be his age one day. Hopefully I will have had some successes as well along the way. So it was nice to be able to speak with him. And I'm trying to think, was there really anything else that I wanted to share with you guys? Yeah. Oh, I think I was going to say this earlier. I don't want to have babies out of wedlock. Actually, there's two things I want to talk to you about. I don't want to have babies outside of wedlock. If I'm going to have a kid, I want to have that kid with my wife. If I'm going to have sex at this point in my life, it may seem tantalizing and amazing and, oh, let me just act like I'm 18 again. No, I shouldn't have even been acting like that when I was younger. I don't want to have sex with somebody because she's beautiful, and then now she's facing potentially having an abortion, which is, look, that is a tough subject, for anyone involved, male, female, whatever. It's tough. It's depending on your perspective, and we're not even going to put religion into this. Though I could, and I personally would, but for the sake of everyone listening, it's a tough situation where you can do it, and then it will affect, the female's body, it will affect the female's mental, and it will affect the male's mental. It'll affect the way that they view life. It will affect, everything. And I don't want to, put any chick through that. I don't want to put me through that. So no abortions. But it's not just abortions. It is to get someone pregnant who is not my wife. That is something I do not want to happen. Because my wife will keep our child, and someone who is not my wife in modern times is inclined or may be pushed to not keep the child. And if they do keep it, now I have a baby mama situation, which is next to hell on earth. Okay, no, it's not, but there's so much crap. I just feel like I will have such a harder time to pursue my life if I am now co-parenting with a girl that I simply found attractive and didn't see any type of loving connection with them, any type of like mutual idea for a direction that we're going in together. I don't ever want to be in that situation. So, sex, I've had plenty of it. I don't want any more. Sex with the woman I love, that is what I want. That is what I want. I don't care. I know it just seems like, bro, but you could get all of these chicks and da 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 da. First of all, I don't think so. Okay, yeah, maybe, but no, that's not the point. My fear for children out of wedlock, children by a woman who doesn't love me, is so high. I'm so afraid of that. My life could literally be wasted. Now, of course, it would be... Now, that's kind of a selfish way of viewing it, right? Because when you are rearing children, they become everything. And you love them, and you love to take care of your children. So I will love to take care of my children as a part of a family. If I had a baby right now outside of wedlock, I would love them with all of my heart. And I would work, because I'd have to, but I would work as hard as I possibly could, 110%, so they could have a life that was worth living. Because that's what children deserve. However, when those children grow up and they're in their 20s, they also deserve to live their lives without necessarily jumping into parenthood. Talking about myself. So, here we are. And this is all, you can tell it's all like kind of together. Like everything I'm saying is all like in union and all heading in the same direction. I want to be able to make good decisions for my life with a brain that is sober, that can understand myself, with a brain that's not going to be so damn impulsive that I'm just going to go with whatever is tantalizing or whatever feels good, i.e. weed and women and whatever else. Just that has to be just put aside. And I'm happy for that, because it really allows me, like, I'm giving myself, it's a gift to myself, is sobriety. It's a gift to myself to not get a woman pregnant out of wedlock. It's a gift to me to have this situation going on. To save money, it's a gift to me. To consider and spend time, how do I want to spend my life? Oh, wow, there's so many things I can do. Wow, I want to try this. That is a gift to me. So, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling optimistic about life. It's Sunday. It's early. There's so many things I can do just today. There's so many things I could do to wrap up the year. And there's so many things that we will do. And I can't wait to share them all with you guys via vlog form or simply over the podcast, you know? So, yeah. I appreciate you guys so much for listening, so much for watching. If you're watching on the Davon Raymond X YouTube channel or possibly on Spotify. And yeah, I'm just going to wet my whistle here. And I'll say this lastly. I appreciate you guys. I hope that you do subscribe to the Davon Raymond X YouTube channel. And, you know, follow me everywhere else, Instagram and all of that. And you'll be able to hear more of this adventure life that I'm trying to have. With time, my brain naturally explores new avenues of, you know, Robinhood investing, getting certified and teaching English as a foreign language, you know, just these different things that my brain is just like, hey, let's entertain this, or let's look into that, you know, because I don't have a child outside of wedlock, because I don't have, you know, an addiction over my head that's stopping me from just exploring and being just different than I've always been. So, I'm feeling optimistic, guys. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. I am so congested right now, as you can definitely tell. Please do subscribe. I'll check you guys in the next episode. And yeah, I think this was a good one. I'm so glad to be back. All right, I'll see you guys next week. And I think every Sunday is probably going to be how we're going to do it from now on. All right. Peace, y'all, and have a great day.